Good afternoon, friends. We welcome you today for this press conference, which is on Swachh Abhiyan, Swachh Pakhwada, this particular mission which is going on for the last several months. We have three secretaries today. First, we will make the presentation from Secretary Civil Aviation. He will brief you. Before that, I think I will request Secretary Mr. Ayer to make a brief remark, and then we can look at the introduction.
Thank you. So welcome to all of you to this sort of continuing series of press conferences about the Swachh Bharat, which is carried out by different ministries. So today we have Ministry of Civil Aviation and Ministry of Social Empowerment. And let me just say that the Swachhata Pakhwada, which goes on a continual basis. Typically we have two such Pakhwadas. Two ministries participate every fortnight. And the most recent, the second fortnight of July was Ministry of Civil Aviation and Social Empowerment. And usually we have the press conference a few days after that. This has got a little delayed, but it's an ongoing activity anyway. And so I just want to mention one point before I hand over to Rajiv to tell you a little bit about the Civil Aviation Pakhwada. We have constituted a Swachhata Pakhwada Awards. So basically now there will be an award for what would be judged to be the best Pakhwada during the course of this financial year. So all the ministries which have participated are eligible for this. There's a whole process which we can tell you how that works. But I just wanted to mention that, to introduce a little element of competition and improve the quality, we thought that, and to encourage ministries to come up with more innovative and creative Pakhwadas, this award has been constituted. We can tell you a little bit more about it during the Q&A. I'll now request Mr. Rajiv Chaubey, Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, to tell you about his Pakhwada. Rajiv.
Thank you, Parmeshwaran, and let me welcome my friends from the media once again. There is one significant difference between the Pakhwada which government offices organize elsewhere and what we organize in the Ministry of Civil Aviation. That significant difference is that while other government ministries and departments, they organize it for their offices, so to say, we do the same. Plus, we also organize it because we are in a service sector part of the whole thing. For example, when we talk of Airports Authority of India, which has got 70 airports where commercial flights happen, I have to make sure, not just because we as Airports Authority of India is part of the civil aviation sector, government, but because we are rendering paid service. The passengers who use the airports, they pay for that, and therefore we have to make that, they make payment, and therefore we are bound to offer a certain level of service which includes cleanliness and swachhata. So that's a big difference. Similarly, Air India, wherever Air India is operating, we have to make sure that Air India provides a level of hygiene and cleanliness which is at par with, as being made available anywhere else. For this purpose, let's take, for example, the airports in the country. We have a system where the airports are constantly judged for their airport service quality, ASQ as we call it, by an independent agency which is ACI. It is a foreign agency which does the ranking of all airports all over the world. And I'm happy to tell you, for example, not just on the parameter of cleanliness, but on the parameter of service as such, Delhi, Mumbai have been adjudged as number 1 in the category relating to 25 to 50 million passengers per year. All over the world, they are number 1 airports. Similarly, Jaipur has been adjudged number 1 in its own category between 5 to 20 million passengers per year. So this is of course a broad sense which I wanted to give to you, that our airports are taken to be among the best in the world, and we are proud of it. But as far as today's presentation is concerned, it is essentially relating to the Swachhata Abhiyan which we have undertaken. And I will request Mrs. Usha Padhi, Joint Secretary in the Ministry, to quickly take you through the presentation, which will be followed by the question and answer session by us. Usha.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests on the dais and our media friends of the dais. Thank for the opportunity. 5 to 7 minutes have been given to us for presentation. I'll be as brief as possible, and other things can be discussed during the question answers. The first slide, please. The first slide mainly shares about our activities at the ministry level. As Secretary mentioned, this is one of the agenda. It is a mission. In mission mode, we have taken it's become a walk of. I mean, everyday Swachhata mission is it's a walk of our everyday life. So, ministry has taken lot of initiative, and also it has been extended and outreach to the other organizations which are within the ministry. The two major concepts I would like to highlight. One is about the zero waste office. This concept we have adopted. We have tried to do all this liquid and solid waste generated within the organizations have to be utilized, and zero discharge has to be there. This we are following. And we are also following this no plastic in the office. So the in the ministry you will find very rarely the plastic bottles. Already we have adopted to water dispensers and the recycled paper glasses. Little inconvenience in the initial stage, but still we have completely adopted. Very few ministries I can say we have adopted this. Next slide, please. Then I'll go to the airports. Basically, our public interfaces are with airports. So in the airports, so Airport Authority of India has been given the responsibility during this Pakhwada. Actually, this is given as a special Pakhwada for us. We have, as per our action plan, we have been doing lot of things, but this has been given as an extra Pakhwada where we can upscale our activity and upscale various activities of ours, intensify the activities taken up by us. So we have done a few unique things which normally it has not been done in normal course. So passenger survey and cleanliness drive has been taken up. Cleanliness drive through inspection of various officers visiting from the headquarters, and it is not the same people from the airport but the people who are from adjacent airport, they have been visiting. And we have also taken up this waste management and garbage disposal in priority basis. Then the tree plantation, because it was in the monsoon, so we have taken up a large number of tree plantation wherever it is possible, especially on city side. Beautification of city side has been our priority. Then last year we have taken up under the CSR lot of toilets in schools, which is called Swachh Vidyalay campaign. This is not only providing the hygiene environment within the school, but also it will help retention of girl students in the school. So this has been taken up as one of the CSR activity by the Airport Authority of India. This also we have ensured that sustainability would be ensured during this 15 days. Then also this open defecation free villages would be adopted. This is like beyond the whatever core competence of AI, but with the help of community and the other community based organization they plan to do. So each slide we will be briefly mentioning now. Next please. The cleanliness drive parameters, just 5 parameters. This is based on inspection. Various group of people, teams visited the airports, functional airports of AI, and they have tried to assess. Next please. Passenger survey, minimum 200 passengers who are at the departure we have inquired, and this has been tabulated. The simple format has been provided to them so that they can grade the airports, and based on this we have identified 3 airports, that is Thiruvananthapuram first, and then Kolkata and Raipur. Weightages have been given to various parameters. Based on this assessment has been made. Other than this, as Secretary mentioned, we do it in a various parameters in the international standard, but this fortnight we had only focused on cleanliness, and we have again identified and graded these airports, so that we think that this will be followed by other airports and they will be inspiring others. Some pictures, next please. On this, Kolkata and Raipur also in that recognized list. Next please. The toilet construction under Swachh Vidyalay concept, 1255 have been constructed. Maybe around 22% were dysfunctional or not in a usable condition because of the water supply and other problems, but we have ensured, though it is a small number in the context of entire country, but these 1255 should be in functional condition. So this fortnight, most of the airport teams have visited the toilets which they have constructed, interacted with the community, and ensured that these toilets are in functional conditions. Next, please. These are few photographs. All toilets have been constructed with the supply of water also. Then next, please. This is about plantation. It was 10,000 we had planned. We thought it would be too much because the city side only we can do some plantation. Otherwise, the air side usually restrictions would be there. But many airports took very proactive actions, and they have involved communities and the local municipal corporations, and they have gone ahead with the huge plantation towards city side, beautification of city side, and we have got the report that around 15,000 trees have been planted. Some photographs where our Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation had participated in one of the program in Indian Aviation Academy at Delhi, and one is in Tirupati where Honorable Governor of Andhra Pradesh had participated. Next, please. This is sewage treatment plant where we have thought of waste recycling, both solid and liquid. So we have 23 airports which have been already covered under this. So the capacity also has been mentioned. Our plan is that this will be extended to all other airports phase-wise manner in next 3 to 4 years. And I am happy to mention here that all the new construction, wherever it happens under the organization, this recycling of waste has been part of the overall design. So it will be incorporated while constructing itself. Next, please. Some of the sewage plant, and in Rajiv Gandhi Bhavan, which you can also see, where we have the recycling of waste which is generated. And even liquid, I was told, except during monsoon where we have lot of inflow, otherwise it is almost zero discharge. All the effluents have been recycled and it is used for the horticulture purpose. Next one, this is one activity which very few know, but it is very, very important activity which has been taken up by Airport Authority of India. They have created an in-house organization, what we call a non-government organization by involvement of family members, that is the Wives Association, where it is called Kalyan Mai, and under CSR they have taken up this recycling plant. And this is not only catering to the organization of Ministry of Civil Aviation, but many other organizations in Delhi are taking their help. If you can, friends, if you can see this corner on my right hand side, we have displayed some of the items which have been the product of this recycling, and we are gradually replacing all our stationery requirement from these recycled items. Next, please, some of the photographs, and the next one. Some of the products, they are really good. I think AI can market it also. Mr. Anuj Agarwal is sitting here. You can just raise your hand. So if you want any product from them, they have the capacity, they can also sell it to you, including visiting cards. Next, please. This is the task where most of the districts are trying to do, and 100% they want to achieve that all the villages are open defecation free. There have been lot of awards, but this is very, very difficult task. We had lot of apprehension to take it, but with the encouragement of Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, we have taken this task. Around 20 villages have been adopted based on the priority list which has been prepared by the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. We think that with this little contribution from AI, it will be a huge support to the district administration. So next till 2017, March 2017, 10 villages will be covered. Maybe next 1 year, again 10 more villages will be covered. And this is a difficult task, but still AI has taken it to their hands. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. I think, friends, now we can take first question on civil aviation. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Yes.
Do you have a presentation installed? Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Our Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and Department of Social Justice, we had this Pakhwada given to us, 16 to 31st July. And we decided, since most of us work only in offices, we together with our organizations, we thought let us go out of our offices and do a little bit of work with the communities for whom we are supposed to deliver the services. Next one, please. I have given a list of major activities that we have undertaken. It essentially, the organizations who participated are our 3 corporations who work with the scheduled caste communities, the backward classes, as well as the DNT commissions, DNTs, and the Safai Karmacharis. So in the major activities undertaken, we had cleanliness drive and provision of sanitation and drinking water interventions in some of the slums, health and hygiene camps and distribution of medicines, sensitizing children and youth on issues of cleanliness and hygiene, then creation of awareness about cleanliness and hygiene among Safai Karmacharis and denotified tribes, and also initiating skill programs for manual scavengers and their wards and the DNT communities who are living very near Delhi around Gurgaon. Next one, please. On 25th July, our National Scheduled Caste Finance and Development Corporation, they organized free health and hygiene camps which involved eye, gynecological and pediatric checks. Then we also worked among the small vendors and people who are on the streets for awareness on personal hygiene. Water purifying tablets were distributed in the slums. And these slums, Chitra Vihar slum, which is near our National Scheduled Caste Finance and Development Corporation, they have adopted this, but this fortnight gave us an opportunity to step up some of the activities, focusing on cleanliness and maintenance of environment. They also organized a rally with children, distribution of dustbins were done, and MCD workers were honored by the corporation during the Pakhwada. These are again activities taken in the Chitra Vihar slum. Then we thought of reaching out to the denotified tribes cluster who are staying in Gurgaon. This is essentially a space which technically do not belong to them. So the National Backward Class Finance and Development Corporation, they took into confidence the Municipal Corporation of Gurgaon, and they arranged drinking water and mobile toilet for around 600 persons. And with the help of their volunteers and staff, you can see the pictures, what the place which was taken up for cleanliness drive looked like before, and how it was cleaned, and then the mobile toilet has been arranged and placed there. We hope to continue and upgrade the facilities, again in collaboration with MCG. For the denotified tribes, who you may be knowing is a very large group of people who travel all over the country. Some of them are nomads and some of them were erstwhile criminal tribes, but now we are working with them and they are notified tribes, denotified tribes as we call them. They were given free health checkups in covering ENT, ophthalmology, general physician check and gynecological checks. We also thought that a small group of their girls who are living in Kanehi village, Gurgaon, should be adopted for skill training. With ATDC apparel stitching training, the girls were adopted and the training course has commenced. This program can be enhanced later because the feeling is if we go to a community, we must go to them with something more than mere messages of cleanliness. Then they also did Swachhata Abhijan in a senior secondary school. Students participated in cleaning up school premises. Then Nukkad Nataks are organized by volunteers of the Art Saviors Foundation. These are all the activities which the National Backward Classes Finance and Development Corporation undertook. And I'm happy that the corporation so much developed, conceptualizes activities and they and all their staff members wholeheartedly participated in organization of these camps and the activities. You also know that we work for rehabilitation and emancipation of the manual scavengers, and this gave us a big opportunity to reach out to the manual scavengers who are the most disadvantaged of the clients that we serve. And the National Safai Karmachari Finance and Development Corporation, who went outside Delhi, and they organized camps in Bijnor, Sambal and Rampur and Amroha, basically creation of awareness among them for cleanliness of environment, their own environmental safety and cleanliness, as well as motivating them for taking up the second stage of their rehabilitation, which is essentially taking up the skill trainings. And the last day of the Pakhwada was spent in Muradabad, where Honorable Minister personally went. There is a IFTM University campus. There is a very large camp of the manual scavengers themselves. Over 2,000 of them came, and we gave them, for some of them, letters of appointment. Some of them we gave the skill training certificates, and it was a very nice gathering where all the details of our schemes and rehabilitation programs were explained to them. After this, in the same university campus, there was a small CPET training center was opened by the Honorable Minister, because CPET suggested that they should be given a location in the campus itself so that the manual scavenging community members from the nearby areas can come over. The university agreed to get them through their bus transport facility so that they can come here, have the training and go back. We also had an interesting one-day workshop on the same Swachh Bharat mission campaign, where innovative practices in Swachhata were discussed. This was done in collaboration with the Indian Institute of Public Administration, where I had gone and Director IIPA was present, and we had participation of the advanced course trainees there and the officers of urban development and drinking water and sanitation gave presentations on their practices and innovations they have done in the context of the Swachh Bharat mission campaign. That was quite wonderful, and it received a lot of enthusiastic suggestions which you have incorporated in the report. We are also circulating to all the members of the press today a book. Mr. Narayan, have you brought the book along? Which has given a gist of all our activities undertaken during this Pakhwada, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Madam. I think now the House is open for questions. Preferably if you can take civil aviation questions first, I'll be grateful.
My name is Manohar Manoj. I am from Economy India. My question is, earlier this sort of program was organized also here. And I think this is just some ministry-wide review of sanitation program. I think the sanitation is such a subject, or sanitation is such a big issue for the country. Will it be not better to assess it, to review it, some institution-wise, like the institution which are related with the third tier of democracy, second tier of democracy. Even in the first tier of democracy, the office premises, which is more related with the daily public dealing, that must be more reviewed, because the airports are usually fine cleaned. Even the other premises are fine cleaned. But if it is being improved, that is better for the India brand. But this issue is more related with the general proceeding of the public. This is my question.
Maybe I can quickly take that question, which is in general in nature. I think you made a very good point. See, the Swachhata Pakhwada, which all ministries follow, the idea there was to make sure that sanitation and Swachhata are mainstreamed into all activities in all sectors and all ministries, including their subordinate organizations. And that's a 52-week cycle, it's all year round. And this is part of that. And the idea was that each ministry will come up with some innovative ideas to mainstream Swachhata, which you have seen to excellent presentations and activities about which you can ask. Your other point is also very valid. And general cleanliness in cities, in public places, in utilities is equally important. One of the initiatives which we have started together with is using the portal mygov.in, where the public will get an opportunity to rate the cleanliness and swachhata of public utilities, public buildings. So we will look to the public to feedback to us. So it's equally important. Today the focus is a little bit on the activities in these ministries. Thank you.
Yes, anything on social justice, civil aviation, any questions?
Yes, we have given them skill training in a number of trades, which involved their skill training with CPET. Then they have been given training on, this is Mr. Nagaraj? What? Commercial motor driving also for women. All these 3-4 trades, after they have taken the skill training, respective organizations have given them job appointment. So these appointment letters, in presence of the other collaborators, we gave them that day. Mr. Nagaraj, can you give me the details?
Around 450 girls have been trained as commercial drivers with karate and judo. Plus around 150 people are getting trained in JCB training.
Yeah, JCB is one important training where they have been trained. We gave in Moradabad, how many appointment letters did we give that day?
Around 250 or so.
250 appointment letters. About, I think, 30-40 people we gave on the stage, and remaining were there. And all the training partners were present in that day's function.
मैं अजीत झा हूँ UNI वार्ता से। आपने कहा था कि अवार्ड के बारे में आप बाद में बताएंगे डिटेल से, तो उसके बारे में बता दीजिए।
तो अवार्ड के बारे में ये एक तो इस फाइनेंशियल ईयर का है 16-17, और ऑल मिनिस्ट्रीज एंड डिपार्टमेंट्स which feature in the Pakhwada calendar, and all ministries feature in them, they will all be eligible for the award. Submission of nominations will be made to the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, which coordinates the Swachhata Pakhwada. Each nomination must be accompanied by a detailed report on the activities, including pictures, videos, etc. And the deadline is April 17. We'll be taking out some a press note about this. And there will be a jury appointed, which will have experts on it from outside the ministry, so it will be an impartial review. And then I think the idea is to focus on innovation, impact, quality. So इसके बारे में अलग से आपको details हम देंगे, but this was just an announcement to say that to make it a little more attractive and positive for the ministries taking part.
Number of identified manual scavengers in the whole country is little over 12,000, but UP alone accounts for 10,000 manual scavengers among them. The actual number of people who are practicing manual scavenging will be much more than that, and we have requested all states to do a resurvey, take into account data from the Safai Karmachari Andolan, take into account the number of non-sanitary latrines that have been identified in the census, and arrive at the right figure. Moradabad, Nagaraj, do you have the specific? 1,000. 1,000. This is Moradabad itself, and there are some camps around also? Only Moradabad has 1,000 manual scavengers.
The state government will work independently, or the center will advise the state government?
Actually, there is an act which has prohibited manual scavenging. This is the Manual Scavenging Prohibition Act of 2013. According to that, there are two ways in which you can identify a manual scavenger. The manual scavenger can come and volunteer to be identified as a manual scavenger. Then the state government take that into account and either accept this or doesn't accept this. And second way is that under the act, all the municipal organizations, urban local bodies are supposed to undertake a survey. In the survey, they identify manual scavengers. But since this is a very sensitive process, and very often people who may be genuinely doing manual scavenging may not quite come out, or they may be feeling apprehensive because the act has already barred their working, we always encourage that the Safai Karmachari Andolan volunteers who are extensively working all over the country, they should come along, and there should be people from the community to link them up with the municipal agencies.
केंद्र के फिगर में हमेशा अंतर क्यों आता रहता है?
थोड़ा सा अंतर इसलिए होता है कि हम लोग अपलोडेड डेटा को ही मानते हैं। स्टेट गवर्नमेंट जो आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं उसके डेटा को वेबसाइट में अपलोड करते हैं, तो हम लोग अपलोडेड डेटा को ही स्वीकार करते हैं। लेकिन कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि उनके पास ज़्यादा डेटा है, उन्होंने पूरा अपलोड नहीं किया, इसलिए हमारे तरफ से वो पूरा अपलोडिंग के लिए हम लोग उनको रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं।
मैडम 10 साल से जो फिगर राज्यों ने दिए हैं, केंद्र ने उनको खारिज किया है। आपके यहाँ से जो भी पत्र राज्यों को गए कि सही फिगर दीजिए, क्योंकि तभी वास्तविक रूप से समस्या का सॉल्यूशन हो पाएगा। तो क्या कोई नई तरीके से सर्वे के बारे में बात है?
एक्चुअली देखिए, हम लोगों की तरफ से खारिज नहीं किया गया, हम लोगों की तरफ से ये कहा गया कि आप जब यूपी में बता रहे हैं 10,000 मैनुअल स्कैवेंजर और बाकी पूरे देश मिला के 2,000 डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड ऑल ओवर द कंट्री, देयर आर सम स्टेट्स हु हैव नॉट रिपोर्टेड एनी, सो देयर इज समथिंग रॉन्ग इन द मैकेनिज्म। सो क्वेश्चन इज दैट वी हैव इनसैनिटरी लैट्रिन्स स्टिल, बिकॉज बहुत अच्छा काम हुआ है, बहुत सारे इनसैनिटरी लैट्रिन्स कन्वर्ट हो चुके हैं, लेकिन इसके बावजूद भी ओपन ड्रेन्स है, ह्यूमन सेप्टेज का हैंडलिंग है, सीवेज है, रेलवे के ट्रैक में सफाई चल रही है। तो जब तक कंप्लीट मैकेनाइजेशन नहीं होगा, मैनुअल स्कैवेंजिंग एलिमिनेट करना पूरा संभव नहीं है। बट व्हाट वी वांट दैट द प्रोसेस ऑफ सर्वे शुड बी अलाइव, कि लोग जो है उसको आप अनदेखा मत कीजिए कि वो है ही नहीं, हमको नहीं मिल रहा है रिपोर्ट में, ऐसा आप मत कीजिए। तो इसके लिए हम लोग सभी सहायता देने के लिए राजी हैं। हम लोगों ने उनको एससीसी डेटा का राज्य भर फिगर भेजा है, सेंसस का डेटा उनको दिया है, सफाई कर्मचारी आंदोलन के लोग हमारे साथ हैं, वो कभी भी कहीं भी जाने के लिए फिगर शेयर करने के लिए रेडी है, तो इनका मदद लीजिए। ये प्रोसेस हमारे लिए जारी रहेगा जब तक हम लोगों को नहीं लगेगा कि कम्प्लीटली ऑल मैनुअल स्कैवेंजिंग्स has got over, which will need entire mechanization। बट तब तक हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, जो है उनको हम लोग रिहेबिलिटेट कर रहे हैं, मेन स्ट्रीम कर रहे हैं, ऑल्टरनेटिव जो जीविका है वो देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। इसमें कोई विरोध नहीं है, लेकिन और ज़्यादा काम होना चाहिए, और ज़्यादा आई वुड से संवेदनशीलता, सेंसिटिविटी होनी चाहिए इसके लिए। Not so far. So not so far, because any change will entail a change in the provisions of the act, which we have not done. What we are trying to do, see, it's a human process. It is not just taking a piece of paper and head counting. What we are saying, take more stakeholders with. Like एक अर्बन लोकल बॉडी से एक आदमी जाके पूछेगा, उससे अच्छा है कि सफाई कर्मचारी आंदोलन के लोग जो ज़्यादा फ्रेंडली है वो भी आपके साथ चले। कोई अगर वॉलंटियर किए, कम्युनिटी के मेंबर को साथ लीजिए, trying to put more and more stakeholders, and we are requesting states, known faces, known local figures, and also we are telling the states you do resurvey, don't close your books, because act ने आपको गैर कानूनी बोल दिया, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि अब आपका जो रजिस्टर है इसको क्लोज कर दें। जैसे अभी यूपी has agreed to resurvey, though UP has 10,000, but UP is open, UP has again started the resurvey. Maharashtra did not report any manual scavenger. I have had a meeting with Maharashtra Chief Secretary. Now he has agreed to do a survey.
But what do you think has been overlooked? I mean, are there certain, are you saying that because you have converted a lot of them into sanitary latrines, there are other things that the manual scavengers do that is being overlooked by?
See, if you look at the Act says, what is manual scavenging? It is not only people who clean insanitary latrines, it is people who handle human excreta, human waste, in an open drain, in an open sewerage, okay, in any other form, on the railway tracks. Also, it includes hazardous cleaning. Every day people go down to the sewers. Every day people go without any gears to clean a sanitary latrine or let us say manhole. That also is manual scavenging. So all these forms are around you. Okay, so you have to look for them. Problem ये हो गया कि because the act says the activity is prohibited, there is a tendency on part of a government functionary to say नहीं हमने तो देखा नहीं, लेकिन आपने नहीं देखा इसलिए problem vanish नहीं हो जाता है. That is why we are trying to put more and more stakeholders.
Ma'am,
Sorry, can we just come to any question on civil aviation? Because that's your
Could I know the kind of funds you have earmarked for eradication of manual scavenging under Swachh Bharat cess, ma'am? Any idea?
Not under Swachh Bharat cess. We have already resources with the corporation who implements the SRMA scheme.
But Swachh Bharat cess is a huge amount of money which, under which, manual scavenging is, I think it's sidelined.
No, I would say that for identifying and rehabilitating manual scavenger, money is not a constant. Our problem is to finding the people. But I would say if Swachh Bharat says this, you would be able to say, or UD secretary, if you could use the money for quickly mechanizing all the services available, that will be of much greater use.
For
Then
example, last year only 26 crores or 29 crores has been spent on the problem. Money is not the problem.
Money is not a problem with us. Our problem is finding the people. We have enough money to take care of, I would say, 10 times the number of people that have been identified today. Huh? No. Problem is that mechanization is again a task for which guidelines have been laid by the Ministry of Urban Development so far as urban areas are concerned. Similarly, process in the rural areas will be conversion of non-sanitary toilets into sanitary ones. So I do not know if the mission space money can be used better for purposes where infrastructure is involved. So far हमारा जो rehabilitation का program है, जो scheme है, इसके लिए money is not a constant so far. In fact, my anguish is we need to find more people, and for which we need to get more cooperation from the states.
Any questions on civil aviation? I think, Rajiv, your presentation was so clear, and I thought it was a fantastic pakwada by civil aviation.
If I may just add, Parmeshwaran, you see, as I mentioned in the very beginning, unlike many other ministries which may not have a direct public interface, we are a ministry which has a direct public interface through airlines and airports. And therefore, Swachhata, cleanliness is something which is ingrained. For us, I don't know how many of you have come to the Rajiv Gandhi Bhavan, which is the headquarters of Civil Aviation Ministry. It is a delight to come to that place. You don't find litter, you don't find dirt, you don't find people unnecessarily milling around and sort of things are organized, because we are a ministry whose mandate it is to provide service, paid service. People have to buy tickets to fly. People have to pay to get into the airports. So when we are asking people to pay, we are bound and we are committed to provide them service, and one of them is cleanliness. So it is something which, of which we are proud. There is nothing which is perfect. For example, when we built the toilets, we thought that we had done a very good job. But then I was disappointed when at the beginning of the Pakhwada Parmeshwaran, I found 22% toilets had fallen in disuse. It is a pity because money has been spent. And of course, all those 22% were, so to say, revived and rehabilitated. So all that work has been done. But then we would have preferred that not a single toilet gets into disuse. But then it did. So that's because, maintaining toilets outside the airport buildings in schools, etc., is not immediately within our normal day-to-day work. So sometimes we are not able to pay attention. But at least the areas where we work on a day-to-day basis, we are proud, as I mentioned, that our airports are ranked among the best in the world. And there are people who come and tell us, saying that even small airports, let's say, for example, airports at, let's say, Ranchi, if you go there, you find a very good airport. The airport which we have built up at Chandigarh or at Tirupati or other smaller places, those airports are far, far superior than the airports of same size which you find abroad. So we have, in the Civil Aviation Ministry, we have tried to inculcate this as a basic tenet. We don't have to necessarily conduct a Swachhata Pakhwada, twice in a year. We try to do it all year round because and this ACI, Airports Council International, that is the organization, which is an international organization, which does the ranking of nearly 300 major airports all over the world. And among those airports in different categories, for us to secure that kind of position is something which is really remarkable. But of course, there is nothing like perfection, and we keep trying to improve. But I'm grateful to Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation for bringing this cleanliness drive in sharp focus, which is required from time to time. So thank you, Parmeshwaran, for doing that. Thank you very much.
The work they are doing, we are the other side of the world. The people who clean, they are our clients. Okay, but the question that you asked about ये जो toilets की proper रख रखाव and cleaning, that is actually supervised by the drinking water and sanitation. So
let me take that question. इसमें जो आपने सवाल पूछा है, स्वच्छ भारत मिशन में जो मेन फोकस है वो है बिहेवियर चेंज पर, ना कि कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ टॉयलेट्स, क्योंकि यूजेज ऑफ टॉयलेट्स जो आपने कहा है वो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ है. और पुराने जो प्रोग्राम थे सेंट्रल रूरल सैनिटेशन प्रोग्राम या टोटल सैनिटेशन प्रोग्राम में, वहाँ पे एम्फेसिस ज़्यादा कंस्ट्रक्शन पे था, नंबर पे था. सो देयर इज़ अ बिग शिफ्ट इन द प्रोग्राम टुवर्ड्स बिहेवियर चेंज. एंड if people change their behavior, which is very difficult, आसान नहीं है, that's why it does not happen. But there are special techniques which are used. There's information education campaigns, both mass media, but more importantly, person-to-person communication, जिसको हम IPC कहते हैं, interpersonal communication. तो एक टेक्निक है community-led total sanitation, जो काफ़ी effective रह चुका है. और if you use that technique, then people on the ground start understanding कि what is the importance of having toilets. एक बार जब when there is demand for toilets, then usage increases. और recently 2 independent survey हुए हैं. एक तो NSSO का है, which was about 70,000 households. उसमें 90% के ऊपर usage has been reported. Another report. So usage is increasing. पानी की तो समस्या तो है ही. And you need water usually for sanitation. There are different ways of handling that. एक तो गवर्नमेंट का ये इंस्ट्रक्शन है कि open defecation free villages को priority pipe water supply दिया जाएगा. So there's an incentive to those villages to get pipe water supply. The second is that rural areas में जो rural toilet pan होता है, that has got a steep slope जिसमें कम पानी की ज़रूरत है. So the idea is to have appropriate technology in rural areas जहाँ पे minimum water is required. Water is required, but question is how much. आप urban area में जाएंगे तो urban pan is a shallower slope which requires more water. There are also separate technologies called eco sand जिसमें पानी की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. उसमें that is more difficult to adopt. There you have to separate, to get into technical terms, the urine from the feces. So the urine is basically sterile, right? It can be used for fertilizer after storage, for some period of time. And if you separate the excreta, then you can cover it with ash or earth, and within a year or 2 years, it becomes compost. But getting people to adopt that behavior and having that technology is difficult. So अलग-अलग techniques हैं, processes हैं, but clear focus is on behavior change so that once people adopt the toilet, some water is available, pipe water is preferable. Bikaner district has become open defecation free. If you can do that in Bikaner जहाँ पे इतनी पानी की कमी है, तो you can do it in many other places.
The problem is wherever open defecation persists and wherever toilets are not functional properly, threat for the challenges for the manual scavenging community goes up. That is the kind of risk which.
सर मेरा सवाल ये था कि क्या साथ साथ ये भी चल रहा है, क्योंकि टॉयलेट आपने बताया कि पहले नंबर पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दिया जाता था, तो अभी क्या साथ में ऐसा कुछ चल रहा है कि लोगों में अवेयरनेस होगी कैसे उन्हें यूज़ करना है, और इसके साथ ही साथ पानी और लाइट, मैंने लाइट की भी बात की, रात में लाइट भी नहीं होती है, तो जो सोलर लैंप की भी एक ऑप्शन हो सकता है कि रात में सोलर लैंप भी साथ में लगाए, तो ये सब क्या है, इसको कुछ काम होगा?
देखिए, तो जैसे मैंने कहा कि बिहेवियर चेंज पर फोकस है और ये कैंपेन चल रहे हैं क्योंकि रूरल इंडिया में आप जाएंगे तो आप देखेंगे कि वहाँ पे रूरल एरियाज़ में कन्वर्जेंस ऑफ प्रोग्राम्स होता है. तो जैसे आपने सोलर लाइट की बात कही है, देयर इज अ सेपरेट प्रोग्राम, ड्रिंकिंग वाटर का अलग प्रोग्राम है. तो ये सारे जितने भी गवर्नमेंट के प्रोग्राम्स हैं ये एक तरीके से कन्वर्ज हो जाते हैं डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे, और कलेक्टर्स और चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर इस इंटीग्रेटेड प्रोग्राम्स को लीड करते हैं. तो बिल्कुल कैंपेन मोड पे बिहेवियर चेंज का कैंपेन अभी जारी है एंड दैट नीड्स टू बी इंटेंसिफाइड. अब दिक्कत यह है कि स्केल है, यहाँ पे इंडिया में करीब 600 मिलियन लोग हैं जो बाहर जाते हैं, एंड सो दैट्स बिकम्स अ मेजर चैलेंज. हाउ डू यू स्केल अप बिहेवियर चेंज कैंपेन्स, और इसमें टेक्नोलॉजी हम यूज़ कर सकते हैं. अभी एक वर्चुअल क्लासरूम हमने शुरू किया है जहाँ पे यहाँ से सेंट्रल जगह से आप मल्टीपल लोकेशंस को कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं. सो अर्लियर इट वाज बीइंग डन सीक्वेंशियली व्हिच इज़ वेरी चैलेंजिंग. So campaigns are underway for behavior change. Effort is to integrate programs, चाहे वो solar light के हों, चाहे वो सड़क के हों, चाहे वो drinking water. So this is ongoing and the progress is accelerating.
When do you expect survey to start on manual scavenging? When do you expect to end? And also, according to Safai Karmachari Andolan, there are 1.5 lakh human manual scavengers alone. So what do you have to say about this?
We are working closely with Safai Karmachari Andolan. We are very concerned because they are pointing out to us every day. They are ready to come with actual data papers with us. And only because of them, we are constantly writing to the state. This is an ongoing process. What we have done is whatever has been identified so far, we are trying to comprehensively rehabilitate them, which means one-time assistance, skill training, and either self-employment or some kind of job assistance. But the real work will continue. As I told you, the survey will go on. But till the country becomes completely mechanized in handling all kinds of human excreta, it's very difficult to eliminate the entire problem. We have to constantly go on updating our survey data.
That's all, or any question? So thank you very much, friends. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, ma'am.